deal with the death of self, come out the other side, and then you're part of the spiritual army of get out there, march, do your thing. This is happening.
Don't get rid of the Ferrari. Keep the Ferrari. You've got that as a snippet, mate. It sounds like a great day. Tie me up.
And I was sick of losing all of my weekend. I hadn't seen a Sunday properly for so long. And I knew that if I had one of my first experiences, but I didn't know how to handle it. And an energy had come in that I was like, this doesn't feel right or good. And I was commanding it to leave. It's all mantras and yantras, basically, of the purification system that we need to go through to be able to connect to the energy of mother.
Lydia Kimmerling.
Hi, Liam.
How's it going?
Very good.
Welcome to the Full Power Podcast.
I am so happy to be here.
Thanks for being here. Really appreciate your time. I'm really looking forward to your story. Obviously, we've got a few little connections along the way, and people that have worked with you that have come and worked with us or got to know us. So, I think the first question is, what does the word full power invoke in you?
Oh God, that's amazing. God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the almighty everything of everything and being connected to it.
What's the full power version of Lydia?
It's when I'm filled with love. And I'm remembering who I am and in my full awareness. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Happy.
Right. Happy. Happy, blissed out.
Yeah.
Vibing.
Yeah.
Achieving goals.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Sat on my sofa.
Yeah.
Speaking to a stranger.
Yeah.
Making money or being broke.
Yeah.
Some of my most full power moments have been when I've had no money, no idea where I'm going. And I've had to just deeply call on that faith and that trust that that I'm held.
And it actually, when you have that a full surrender, and you're like, I remember just a few times I've been lay on my living room floor or something, and I'm just almost in Shavasana, but with my arms open. I'm just like, God, right, this is fucked. I'm not enjoying this. Show me another path, another route. Give me a sign or something. And then the next day, always I'll get a phone call or something. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And I'm like, yes, let's go. And that's the start of another. Do you know what I mean?
That's like the engine, right? The engine's on and then it's clicked into gear. Those are I could cry thinking about these moments, but when you just have that evidence and it's so quick and it was your prayer, it was your surrender.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can feel it. You can feel it because you've actually, you go, I have fully let go now. I've fully surrendered. I'm offering this up. Whatever it is that you give me, even if it feels like the most mental thing, I'm going to go for it. But just give me something. Do you know what I mean? And then it's always the perfect thing at the perfect moment.
Always.
And it's already been cosmically ordered anyway.
Yeah, you think that it was your surrender that called it in.
Yeah, it was mine. I did that shit.
We just set up the drama for you because we know you're a drama queen, right? You wanted to lie on the floor, arms wide open, do all the crying, get right. They're like that. Next page. All right, send in the miracle. It was already written.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's coming. And all the galactic council shit, just watching your little drama that you've played out. It's it's pretty good. That scene was quite good, wasn't it? I always see things as scenes now as well. So especially if I'm going up a lift in an apartment block or something, and I'm like, there's all these little scenes and dramas and things going on in each one of these little buildings within this apartment block, and like a sitcom within. You know what I mean?
100%.
Every little wall or door's got a different sitcom going on in it, and everyone's individual dramas and shit that they're sort of navigating through.
I've been really understanding, when you get a concept and you're like, I get that would be true, and then it starts to sink in to the point where you can intellectualize it and then understand it. This game, the game. And I can't remember who it was. I saw somebody saying, everybody that you come into contact with has been ordered as a part of your game. And I was playing with that one day and just thinking, what all these people, but they're in their own little worlds in here. Yeah, just
maybe
some light
just
thinking.
maybe when you die, you just you wake up and you've took a VR headset off and you're in another planet. And you were like, "What the fuck, man?" That was like super intense. I was, right, yeah, I'm Trevor from the Pleiades. Do you know what I mean?
I believed I was Lydia again. Silly me.
But I often feel, especially like when you're doing or a plant medicine journey, and I'm like, when you die, maybe you just wake up on another planet and you're in a jungle with a shaman, and they were like, "How was your journey?" And you're like, "Fuck!" Like that was, how long was I gone? They were like 4 hours. Oh man, I felt like I was gone for 85 years. Do you know what I mean? And it's like super intense. But I think I did a DMT trip. I think it was yesterday actually. Yeah, it was yesterday, and it was the first time where it was super odd. It was like I was in this set. It was like all the multidimensional things that you get with like ayahuasca, DMT, Bufo, but it was very DMT, and but it was just rooms, and this guy like super cool dreadlocked like avatar-y kind of like DMT character like was just like going bump, and then just these scenes were just these sets were just collapsing into other rooms. So then when we were talking about that, then it's like, imagine how trippy it would be right now if you just saw every like situation that was going on just on this planet in rooms, and it just went bump, 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 bump. You'd be like, fuck, it's overwhelming, and all the bad things and good things and beautiful things and indifferent things, and it'd just be like, wow.
Kind of how I imagine the mother and father, that's kind of, they're just looking down on it all, and it is compartmentalized, and it isn't right or wrong or necessarily, it's just rooms of scenes.
Or maybe they just see it as a whole, as a whole energy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a big energy soup.
Yeah, like, you've got so you might have like 20% of stuff that's negative, and they can see that, and then they say, well, actually, it's like, oh, wow, look at all this goodness here and all this beauty, and it all kind of like amalgamate. I don't know. I'm just fucking being trippy.
We can guess, but we won't know until we're there.
I know, that's why I'm so excited about dying. I'm like, what about, I've got this question. You're like, why are the questions? Everything's good. Like, but what about this? When that happened, was I right? No, you was wrong. Oh, fuck.
I feel the same, but I've got to stop saying I'm excited about dying because...
No, you can't. It's cool.
Yeah, but I don't want to like bring it on.
No, but I'm excited. I'm so excited about dying. However, I want to live my life fully and as long as possible, because time's irrelevant anyway, but it doesn't mean like everybody should be living their life and learning to die consciously, to like get to that stage where Abenivesha in yoga, remove the fear of death. Do you know what I mean? And that's one of Patanjali's emergencies to like achieving union, achieving bliss, achieving self-realization. So like that's when everybody says as a yoga teacher, what's the biggest thing you would give people? Abenivesha. It's like once you've got rid of the fear of death, then you can fucking live, man.
Then you're not afraid of living.
Exactly. Like you're fully living, and you're just enjoying each day. It's like, might be my last. I might have another 80 years left, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But just enjoy as much as possible. There's always things that come up in the environment which come to challenge us, but they're most often the greatest gifts in disguise, because we don't grow or expand without the challenges, do we?
No.
Yeah. But anyway, tell us about you and what you do, please.
Yeah, okay. So, well, I'm a master life coach and a healer. I've been doing that for over 15 years, kind of before it was fashionable. People didn't really know what a life coach was at that time. And I do that through channeling, and I also work with the energy of creation. And really, it's about clearing those blocks, the energy blocks that are sabotaging someone from feeling profoundly fulfilled. And it's an inner journey of healing the relationship you have with yourself, and then really that bringing you back to that God within and that spiritual path.
Yeah. So like how would like a life coaching session work with you? Like,
So it's really deep work. My gift is I get to the source of what's going on. So really in one session with me, it's like a year of therapy because I see layers of energy. So I can really see, it's appearing as this. It's projecting and manifesting in your life as this, but it's really this over here that happened probably between the ages of, 1 to 9 or something like that. And we start with some deep meditation just to move the person I'm working with out of the head and into the heart. And then I channel the heart. So the heart has its own consciousness and I can connect to that energy. Then I'll use coaching to just quickly unpack the mind. Let's unpack this. Let's get as far as we can through the thinking mind, but at the same time really moving you into your heart. And usually then we've gained huge amounts of clarity. And then I'll channel the highest energetic perspective. So the story we're going to get into, I'll explain how I ended up channeling, because that is actually something that's fairly new for me. And then I do a healing where I'm connecting to, really I'm working with Jesus, Sri Kaleshwar, Shirdi Baba. I can go into that as well. They're the conduit of Mother Divine, and that energy comes through me to really, really, really do the healing of the karma in that moment. So.
Beautiful. Yeah, go into that then. Go into the Jesus and what was the other person that you said?
So Sri Kaleshwar, not a lot of people.
Sri Kaleshwar, I've not heard of Sri Kaleshwar.
So
before.
I can't wait to tell you about Sri Kaleshwar.
Oh, excited.
You're gonna love him. Have you heard of Shirdi Baba?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, really, my master really is Jesus, because he appeared to me. Not last year anymore, 2023. I probably need to tell like the whole sort of story, I think, to get to...
Okay, so should we go into like, how did you get into what you're doing? Or was there a specific like, what was you doing before this?
Well, obviously I've been coaching for 15 years, but when I was first coaching, it was about, leave your job, start your own business. I was living in Ibiza. It was like move somewhere, be a digital nomad. Yeah. But
so it wasn't like spiritual. It wasn't like health or like relationship. It was more kind of like, if you want to start your cacao journey today, head over to www.fullpowercacao.com and to get 11% off your first order, use the code FULLPOWER2012 at checkout and start to feel that full power vibration today. Now, back to the podcast.
It was about finding your true self, but to the level of awareness I had at that time.
Yeah.
So I was on a spiritual path, but not, obviously, in 15 years, the depth, and because of some other things that happened. But I wouldn't have been talking about Jesus. Let's put it that way.
You'd have been like, I can't say that in front of people.
No.
Jesus is getting big again, man. I'm loving it.
God,
especially at the moment, like all I've heard in December is people talking about the Christ conscious energy.
Yeah.
Like we've been smashing on about that Christ conscious energy since I got into spirituality, because people would come up to me and go, do you know you carry the Christ conscious energy? And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, that's like some God shit. Like, because I've obviously only heard of Christ and Jesus through God and doctrined religions. So I was like, fucking, boom. And then someone said it again, and then someone said it again. And so I was like, what's it? What is this? And then sort of start looking into it and realize what it's all about. And like obviously the guru of yoga, Yogananda, is part of this SRF, the Self-Realization Fellowship, and Jesus is like the head of that with Krishna, which is really interesting because that's an Indian Hindu sort of, not religion but movement, and it just kind of proves that Jesus spent a lot of time in India. 100%.
100% he did, and I've learned a lot more about that very recently. But I was an atheist for a while, but I grew up in a Christian family. So my dad was a pastor, so that typical classic story. And
was you allowed to dance?
It was quite a fun church, to be fair. It was a fun church.
And I just love that. What's the one way they're not allowed to dance or listen to music? There's one in America.
No, isn't that the Mormons?
No, I think it's like, I don't know, it was Young. I remember watching Young Sheldon, and he's like, they weren't allowed to dance and stuff.
Oh, that's not a church I want to go to.
No, I can't listen to music.
Praise God, but don't move your body.
Yeah,
don't have fun.
We're going to sing a prayer, but don't move to it. You moved.
Don't let the energy in. Do not let it in. I can imagine that there's churches like that for sure. Because people are scared of that. right?
Just having a little wiggle.
We're going to encourage each other, aren't we? Yeah, no, it was a fun church, but everything was church, camp, school, music. And then at 16, I left home and I was a rebel, massive partier. I was loose. But I was just searching for myself. Yeah. And then I found coaching, and coaching saved me. It gave me the first way to connect inwards. And I decided to do the training, but I didn't know I was going to do it. And then I trained for 3 years and I was just really good at it. So that became my business. I can't remember what the question was now.
Well, it was kind of going back into that, but when you were speaking, then it sort of, because I can say like a moment when I had what I would say my spiritual awakening was, but then when I look back before that, there was these other smaller awakenings, like my awakening sort of to have a consciousness towards Gaia, the environment, like the way people were using recycling, all the sort of like sustainability issues. So that was a big awakening for me, because my heart was like connected to the earth. It's like, let's look after this planet. And then, but not until I've had the spiritual awakening, I realised actually those awakenings were part of it. You know, there was different moments where I awakened to different ways of being, which were building me up to the spiritual awakening. So I guess with your life coaching, you would say the beginning of it was still part of your awakening, but
100%.
you hadn't realised, because things like yoga, Jesus and all that hadn't been brought into that actual...
Well, I was even doing yoga, but when I first started doing yoga, I wanted a like pert butt. Like that's why I was doing it. But I guess I was pulled to it for that illusion, and then actually it taught me how to get into the body and to breathe, and so all of that leads up to it. There's stages, isn't there? There's stages of what am I eating, what am I putting into my body. You stop drinking, and you see it when you kind of get to a point. You see it happening in people, right? Yeah. Various obsessions along the way, and then there's I guess you awaken to the level of consciousness that you can integrate, hopefully. I mean, sometimes people, it's too much. But then there's been bigger levels. Mm-hmm.
And so how did you then start bringing that into your coaching then? So how did it happen? What was the first kind of like, I'm gonna, well, obviously you would have had a moment where this was coming into your personal life, and then you would have had this kind of like moment, I'm guessing, where you thought, well, I'm gonna bring that into my coaching. Yeah. And I'm sure when you brought it in, you was a bit like, is this going to deter clients?
Yeah, which it did.
Yeah.
Because you're changing. You know, I was for the many to start with. I was speaking some spiritual principles, but, you know, looking back, probably a little bit on the manifestation bandwagon a bit, and maybe more speaking from a place of wanting it myself and not necessarily really, really knowing, you know. And then, and also what I'd find is I would share at a level that was speaking to people where they were at. And then when they came to me, it was always a much bigger breakthrough. Yep. But it wasn't until, I started working with plant medicine when I moved to Ibiza. But then in 2022, specifically, I worked with Bufo a lot. I was going through something big myself, actually the breakup with the father of my son, and it was huge processing on a karmic level. And then at the end of 2022, in my last ceremony, I had a complete identity separation. Bufo was just like, right, I know why you're here. I'm gonna show you. And it pulled everything that I know to be Lydia off my, I guess, my soul, and so that was a big integration. But at that point, I was also really struggling because I'd made myself ridiculously busy. And I had reached a point where I had the house with the pool. I was double six figures, but I was crazy.
What's double six figures, 12 figures? I've never heard that term before.
Like, so instead of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000.
Okay. Yeah.
Multiple six figures, I mean, sorry. Yeah. And then I was saying to God, this can't be what you want for me. It can't be, because I'm burnt out and I feel like a crazy woman. And something happened, and I just decided to surrender. I really had enough point, and I was down the back of my garden, surrender on my knees, saying, you can take everything I know to be about myself, that I think is true. Take my business, take my home, take everything. Just show me my absolute true purpose. And then 2023 was a wild, crazy year.
Go on then.
Alrighty.
Is this where this guy that he comes in?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is. So I cut so after that I had 10 days of spiritual bliss. No, I say no ego, but it felt like no ego, no thinking. I just sat on the beach like for 10 days. And then I needed to kind of go back to work, but I cut my work right back. It wasn't necessarily a good time financially, but I just knew that I had to. And
your work was predominantly the coaching at this point?
Yeah. And I started to feel energy coming into my body every time I was meditating. And I just started to allow it. And then, then my hands started moving. And I noticed that I was just clearing things. And the more I allowed it, they turned into these full activations that were really physical. And they were being, it was spirit that was initiating them. So I was working really closely with spirit. Sounds, it was like I was a cow giving birth. It was full on. And then it was around May time, my dear friend and mentor passed away, and then he started to speak to me. I could hear him, and he was telling me things to tell his wife, and I was like, okay, this is strange. This is happening.
Don't get rid of the Ferrari. Keep the Ferrari. But don't drive it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he was a funny guy. And then the first real instance of just very wild mystical experience was a couple of days after he died, and I was outside and I'd been really crying, and then I walked back into the house and I just felt something kick me in the back of the knees, and I buckled onto the sofa, and then my arm just lifted and it went up. I wasn't doing it, and I heard my friend's voice. He said, don't worry, everything's going to be okay, just listen. And these 7 blue beings came down in front of me. They had blue cloaks on, and they said to me, Lydia, we're going to take care of you now. And we need you to know that your energy is your currency, and you're going to find out exactly who you are, and you're going to find out why you're here. Yeah. And then it sped up.
Excited?
Yeah. So weirdly, then the next day I had a friend living with me, and I said to her, babe, okay, these 7 blue elders showed up with these cloaks on and gave me this message. I wouldn't normally say elders. It just came out my mouth. And she said, oh, you need to read this book, Journey of Souls. Have you read it?
No.
Okay, it's great. It's about a hypnotherapist, and he ends up journeying people to the life between lives. So just as a spirit. And she happened to have a brand new copy, and she said, read it. I read it in 3 days. And there's a section in there that says, it talks about your divine counsel. So there's thousands of stories, of cases where people have said the same thing. When you pass over, you go to your divine counsel.
It's like a review.
Yeah, and they're either called counsel or elders.
Yeah.
And they'll either be white, yellow, light blue or dark blue, depending on where you are in your development. And so I just knew, and they wear hoods. So I was like, I was meant to read this book specifically for that. Something's happened where my counsel's been upgraded. Yeah. I was like, so then these activations continue to happen, and I was told, voice of God, very clearly to give up my work. Don't carry on doing what you're doing. I was also training coaches, so I certified coaches as well. Stop that. And I'll jump to the one with Jesus.
JC's coming in the house.
Yeah. I tell you what, so what I started to learn before this happened, that my nervous system was being reset. That's what I understood. My nervous system was being reset so that I could hold higher frequencies of light. And when Jesus came in, that light, that power my body I couldn't hold it. My jaw was going, my eyes in the back of my head. It was so powerful, and he was in front of me, so big. It wasn't as clear as the elders, but just this beautiful yellow lit version of him, and also just the version of him that I've come to know through religion, you know. And he said, we're going to give you another baptism. We're going to take the baptism that you had as a child out, and we're going to give you a baptism of light. Then John the Baptist comes in. Hi. No, he didn't sound like that. I don't. This is JC. I'm JP.
They did a little choreographed dance for you.
Yeah. Baptism day, baptism day. All of that.
Amazing.
And then they pulled all this, I guess, programming, karma, pulling it out, and it's physical. It hurts, not in the same way that hurting yourself, but you know, you would have when you're in working with plant medicine, you feel it happening. And they gave me this new baptism, and they said everything's going to start to make sense now. And then I had a few of those activations with God giving me messages demanding me to remember, remember who you are, remember why you're here. And then the channeling started to come through, all of these gifts started to come through. And to be honest, I didn't really know, still at the beginning of last year, 24, what was happening. I thought I was going crazy at some points. But at the same time, I knew that I was, I tried to find a mentor. And I just couldn't find anybody that could meet me or that was, I say above me is not the right, but just further ahead, that could hold me through it.
That's what you need.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And so I knew that I was having to be my own guru in this, to just lean into the fear. Every time that it was darker in me, lean in, more just light, more expansion. And well, eventually then, 2024, I watched a podcast with this woman in the States, and she was talking about these miracles she had seen Sri Kalashwar perform in India, and she had been his student for 5 years, and I got goosebumps. And I knew then that that's what I needed to learn, and I've been working with her ever since to learn that lineage of healing, which is what Jesus also did.
Yogi.
Yeah.
Yogic powers, siddhis, kriyas. To get there, the kriyas are all a purification process. Like you were saying, you was having these. And I think a lot of those things now that yogis were doing kriyas for a long period of time to make space for it. Like you said, the energies are getting higher where the beings are coming in, and like, this seems like just normal chat now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
know. For us, darling.
Yeah, for us. But like, it was, you know, but for more amount of people, like I was chatting to my friend that level in the DMT yesterday, and she'd done a ceremony with some other people. She was like, these things and he's ripping stuff out of people, and all the codes are then coming in.
Yes,
and
downloading the codes.
I'm just like, I remember when she first started doing light language about, when was it, about maybe like 10 years ago now. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, she was doing light language. This other woman doing light language. I'd never seen anyone else on the planet do light language before. And I was just like, they're going, you're going to speak this as well. I was like, oh, fuck, you want to speak? I don't know what are you doing? You look crazy. But now it's becoming more normal. There's even, you know, light language on Instagram, and people got light language channels. And it's like, it's just amazing.
And it's going to it is getting faster and faster and faster. I feel like they're up there and they've got a wand and they're just going, you know, and then you just activate it and you deal with the death of self, come out the other side, and then you're part of the spiritual army of get out there, march, do your thing, speak
and keep
the truth.
keep speaking about it, because that's what it's going to happen super quickly. Like 2032 is the crossover point for 5D consciousness, isn't it? And like, it's happening so quick now, but once you get to that tipping point, then it's just like bang, it's gone. the old paradigm doesn't exist anymore. As soon as you get to 50%, it's like, 51%, bang, the other 49% goes so quickly. There'll be some people holding on, but hopefully they just get that little, dump, it's your turn.
That's it.
Because like Tim Wilde was saying, like during the Lionsgate this year, like so many people like awakened during that portal, and that's what's led to like the energy being quite heavy, because there's a lot of people going through that purgative first moments of like letting go of the old paradigm, which is quite a difficult thing to do, isn't it? Because you're letting go of everything that you've known, everything that you believe, and also you're also then acknowledging the fact you've been lied to your whole life and everything's been a lie, and that's a difficult one to stomach and to surrender to as well. So so much dying in it can feel like you're dying on the inside, and it takes a brave heart. It takes a brave heart, a brave soul to go, I don't know what the fuck is happening right now, but there's a little something inside that's like, but this is for you. Stick with it. This is my path. Yeah, and that's the thing with like just like empowering each person. It's like this God inside you. Like just start feeling it, start releasing it, start enjoying it, start breathing into it. Everything. It's like it's amazing. Yeah. So what in terms of like the lady that you worked with that she kind of became your guru or teacher?
Teacher, and then her masters are, the lineage is Sri Kalashwar. He died, I don't know, I want to say like 10, 15, 20 years ago. So he's of our lifetime. And then his master was Shirdi Baba, but they both of them, their master is Jesus.
Yeah.
So his story is really beautiful. It was prophesied that he was coming to India. There's a book of prophecies that's held in the Indian government. And in there it says of this young boy who's coming to Penakonda in India, and he will be like the Indian Jesus. He'll be able to perform the same kind of miracles. And he was very young when he was enlightened. He was studying engineering, I think, but also living in the mountains, and Shirdi Baba appeared to him and took him to find these palm leaf books, which were written 7,000 to 10,000 years ago. And in these palm leaf books, there is the technology of creation, which were written by rishis back then. And it's all mantras and yantras, basically, of the purification system that we need to go through to be able to connect to the energy of mother, and then use that to heal, or to the miracle energy, really, where you're working with the 5 elements and you can command on the 5 elements, and then really you see and know that nothing is real and everything is within that power. Very Shakti. So then he opened an ashram there, and he is very, very, very connected to Jesus. There's other things there that call back to Jesus being there. And this American lady, she ended up studying there for 5 years, was very, very close to Swami. And he just wanted to make more masters. He was like, there's nothing I can't do that I can do that you can't do. And you can do it better. I want you to do it better. And he knew that there was going to be a time where it was the Jesus revolution, where there'd be many people who would be coming back to do the same that Jesus did. And that's what he was setting up for. And now she teaches that as well. And there's a few of the masters that were taught by him. I will send you the podcast that she's on, because when you listen to the miracles that she was witnessing, it's like, you're like, if that happened, I need to know. I need to be a part of this.
Hi guys, my book Dealer to Healer is available on our website, www.fullpowercacao.com. You can also get it on Amazon, Audible, Kindle, wherever you read and do your thing. It is an amazing tale of my life and my journey towards a better version of myself. All the twists and turns, all the traumas, all the funny stories, everything that's happened. It's my life story. It's supporting and inspiring lots and lots of people. So head over to the website, head over to Amazon, get the book, let us know what you think. Big love. Yeah, I've been Sai Baba, I just read Sai Baba's book, and about, you know, a lot of the miracles that this is written by this American couple that are just observing, and then obviously autobiography of a yogi, and he talk about the miracles. And I'm been reading Satyananda, who was the guy who he was kind of like one of Shivananda's disciples, and just all about all the kriyas and the siddhis and the gifts, and like just the thing from Kriya. Like, I want to go deeper into Kriya yoga.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of like, you can just kind of download it now, but I want to study, learn it, and I want to kind of like, because obviously a lot of people, you still say yoga to them and they just think stretching, and it's like, actually it's this, is stretching's got fuck all to do with it. This is like next level stuff, like when you get up to the meditation, the kriya, the sort of the siddhis, the yogic powers, the clairsentience, the, you know, the psychic powers, everything, the manifestation, the materialization. The
things she's shown us that Sri Kalashwar was manifesting, just solid objects out of thin air. I've seen some videos. It's if your mind isn't ready for it, it's that kind of thing that I think it's that kind of thing that is necessary now for more of us to be able to do, to instantly break people's belief systems, you know. And he used to say, you know, it's actually not about these kind of manifestations, but he would say that these are the chocolates. I have to take the chocolates to the children so that opens them up. They come in and then they really get the divine healing. Yeah.
So it's like what people would call the magic of it, but it's kind of like the confetti in it, really.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's
totally,
fun.
Man. I'd love to be able to manifest shit, like just go, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a brick to a bricklayer. Where did you get that from? That's just the same place you got the other one from. Yeah. It's just quicker. That's how you like move around objects. And so within that, so obviously like his teachings, the yantras and the mantras, how come do you think it's been, I guess there's two questions in this. Why do you think it's been sort of almost hidden so long? And there was always like almost a resistance, especially with yoga as well and with kriya. There's almost a resistance to give it to was the time not right? And we've all been leading up to this cosmic moment. Or
something that really stuck with me was that in the, I don't know if it's the 80s or 90s, he was invited, he could have been on Oprah,
right?
But he turned it down. He said it's not the right time for people to hear about this or to really even see it. So it was too
off the wall.
Exactly. It would have been dismissed versus creating curiosity. It needs to create curiosity that then is like a magnet pulling people in. And I think they've been waiting. I think they've been waiting and planting seeds and helping us clear blocks till the time is right. And now look, you know, how quickly can we get information all around the globe? There hasn't been a better time. And the young people that are coming through now are so much more open-minded, and they don't want bullshit. I think that they're really led by truth, you know? So I hope it's now. I feel like it's now.
Well,
I mean, it is now. It's
all
happening.
The prophecies, like when I first sort of got into everything in like 2012, because it was so like, it wasn't as paramountly obvious. There was nothing online about it. No one was talking about it on Facebook, Instagram, and you're kind of going, oh, like, am I just being like deceived and this is bullshit and I'm being taken down another path that's like, actually there's something dark within it, and you kind of like you're always having this internal battle with, is it but you feel it, but you're like, but it's not showing up. And like, especially 2012, where I was like, right, been read all the books, this prophecy, 21, 12, 12, like the world's going to change, bang! And then you went, oh, nothing happened. Like, but then you
realise.
You
weren't putting that out on your social media.
I probably did actually. But I was like, do you know what? Like, if we have to like, because I thought there was going to be this monumental, I don't know what I thought there was going to happen. I thought something massive was going to happen where like anybody who wasn't awake was just going to die. And like, it was going to be this clearing of everyone. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, so am I prepared to let go of everybody that I know that's not awake? I was like, yeah, fuck them. It's better for the earth. Like, I was all about the earth and about the collective. But then obviously now I realise that everybody's going to cross over. It's just whether you're going to make it difficult for yourself or easy for yourself. But the whole frequency and vibration and the dimension that we exist in is about to shift. So it's like either shift and allow it to be an easy process by cleaning the body, by opening your mind to these things, by learning, by studying, by practicing yoga, plant medicines, your shamanic world. The two coming together of those worlds is a really beautiful thing as well. And like, what do you want to do? Do you want to make it difficult, or do you want to make it hard? But 2032 is that kind of like 20 years since the cosmic moment, the crossover from 4D, from 3D to 5D, and this interim section of like only 20 years of us being in this 4D consciousness.
I haven't heard this with the 2032.
Yes,
I knew that 2025 was really going to be a year of a lot of instant belief systems being broken down by what we're seeing in the world, which is already happening.
And
right?
super abundance within the people that are doing positive things on the planet as well.
Great.
Super abundance. Yeah, no, it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like just lots of like everything I've been listening to. There's so many things about abundance, so many things about like changing your, because I'm like working class council estate kid. It's like changing your paradigm from like being able to talk about 6 figures to be able to talk about 7 figures, to be able to talk about 8 figures, but not talk about it as like, oh, imagine. It's like, no, like we've just hit 7 figures, like double 7 figures this year. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, so now that's not a dream. That's a reality. So it's, oh, right, well, let's think about 8 figures. Do you know what I mean? And then let's think about double 8 figures. And then let's think about 9 figures. And because then you go, wow, imagine what we could do. Positive things, the charities that we could really like, or the
put the money in the hands of the people who are going to do something good with it.
I ain't going to go and give it to a poor person because a poor person is going to lose all that money. Like, you know, you can help them, empower them, support them, but I ain't going to go around giving it to people that they've either got no work ethic or they're just going to. But I think financial, like money, intelligence is super important. It's like, how do you, because the universe is compound interest. That's how the universe works. It's like most people don't know about compound interest. No, most people don't know about money. I didn't know about it. I've learned. I've really. I don't fucking know much compared to a lot of the experts out there. But I've just gone. Why have I not got this thing? Because I'm from poverty. Because it's not natural for people from poverty to then change their mindset towards money. It's more of a process. Whereas my friends that I went to uni with, that are from rich families, them to have a nice house and to have this and to have that and to have this bank account or this big job, it's not a jump. Because it's natural for them. Like now it's natural for me to have a 7 figures if I'm not making 7 figures this year for my business, not personal, but I'm be like, well, why didn't we do that? Do you know what I mean? So it's like to become more comfortable with these huge states of abundance because it is infinite. And if we can do positive stuff with it, then that's super beautiful.
Something I'm curious about there, though, is just from your opinion. So you came from poverty, but you wouldn't give it to a poor person.
No, but I'd invest in them becoming educated on money.
Because I just heard someone else say this the other day. I would never give to a beggar on the street because
I'd give them food.
Yeah. I just think it's from the place that it comes from. You know, it's like anything given really deeply from love, it's the love that's felt and it's the love that has the power, not the food, not the money. It's the love. That's what Jesus did here. It's the love it came from.
If you can give positively to poor people, but you're not then getting them poor's a mentality. So how do I get that mentality shifted for a poor person? Because I've shifted it. And there'll be still things that I've not quite healed. However, the lottery is a great example of why poor people shouldn't be given money. Because what is it like? Fucking 95% of working class people that win the lottery spend the money within 5-10 years and end up back in the situation they were. So it's like financial intelligence. Like I would rather teach somebody, like, because if you've got that level of money, you should be wealthy for the rest of your life. You just have to, if you just invested it in the S&P 500, you're like, you've got a nice wage for the rest of your life. You're stable. You can do nice things. You can continue this level of like existence. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, for me, it's all about that financial intelligence, which is just energy. It is just an energy, an abundant energy. Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing with this suppression of like what we've been going through for these thousands of years of not being ready for it, and like now feels like you were talking about 2025, it feels like this year of like, come on guys, like this is for everybody. Do you know what I mean? It's not just for the elites, it's not just for the people that were born in certain areas, like this is for everybody, but you've got to step into it and you've got to start doing some work on it. Do you know what I mean?
The worthiness. Worthiness.
It's worthiness. What's the other one? Being enough. I work a lot of women that I work with. It's a big thing. Yeah.
This is the thing. Worthiness is the thing. And this is when you're not connected to God, you buy into the illusion that you're not worthy. When you're not connected to source, when you don't know your true abundance in source, then you are into the illusion that you're not worthy. And then you won't even look for the app that tells you how to invest because the information's there.
Oh yeah, it's now. Everything's there now.
Everything's there now.
That's what's brilliant.
But I did it, right? I wanted to be a millionaire, but I wasn't reading any of the books, you know? There's so many books with millionaire on the front and I wouldn't even pick them up because I was like, well, that's not for me.
Yeah, but I want to be because every person inside wants to be rich.
Yeah.
They're lying because why would you not, like, it goes against human nature to not want to be rich. There's a wound in there, there's a protection and there's a barrier up for people that don't, because deeply innately your animal instinct is to be, and your true nature, the cosmic nature of the universe is to be abundant and to be, why would you like, oh, do you know what? I want, when a bill comes in, I want to be like, fuck, I can't quite afford that. Or do you want to just go, oh, it gets paid on a direct debit. I've not even, don't even open my bills. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, someone goes, oh, they've been ripping you off for 5 years. Oh, can we claim it back? Brilliant, cool. Do you know what I mean? What it's to be like that, it just is so much nicer.
Yeah. That life can be easy. Imagine if that was a belief that was installed into everybody, that life is meant to be easy and it can be easy, and so it will be easy for me. But we're not. That's not the experience. And I think, I wonder where that's first seen, where that's first understood, because it's not the belief we come in with. I wouldn't think. I guess as soon as you start to feel anything that's less than joy, so you experience shame, guilt, fear, it also tells you life's hard because you're not given the tool to deal with that.
Yeah, and you get programmed from every moment since you're born. Like for me, depending on what your family you were in, what school you went to, what was expected of you from your socio-demographical like area that you were born into. Like it's programming. It's conditioning, programming, conditioning. It's like then you start to break through, and that's what's great about the plant medicines, about the yoga, about these new paradigms of like, coaching, even just coaching, like, or counseling, or like going to a ceremony or going to a sound bath. It's like that wasn't there in the 80s. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you're feeling bad, go to the pub. And like have 10 pints, you'll be back, and you'll be rough in the morning, but you'll
leave
forget
your kids in the car, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Just window open, a little touch.
Get them a packet of salt and vinegar. Yeah. They didn't have phones to look at.
No. You just look out the window. I'd just play in my mum's car for hours, like pretending I was driving it, and I'm fucking bored.
Oh, how good that boredom must have been for you, though.
Yeah. I reckon so, because there's just kids are just like fully in the whole time now, aren't they? Like in this virtual world. So yeah, I think about it as well, like when my missus's kids come home and like they just stay at home, whereas for me it's like eat something, go out, like just bang, and then it's like fuck, I've got to go home in 10 minutes. I don't want to go home. Not because I didn't want to be home, just because I want to be playing out. And
your mum didn't know where you were necessarily. No. But
I loved that kind of like, and then playing football, being out, being in nature, getting up to mischief, just having a group of friends, a gang of friends. Like it was fun, man. And like now there's like reverse grounding, isn't they, where they kick the kids out of the house and lock them out. Yeah, it's reverse, because grounding these days is the reverse. Because what's the point of grounding a kid now?
Oh, they love it in their room. Yeah, you have to take everything out.
Yeah.
A padded cell.
I guess so. Yeah. But I'll just put them in a tree.
Yeah.
Like, tie them to a tree.
Take your shoes off. Take your shoes off. Stand on the grass for half an hour and think about what you've done.
Tie you to this tree as your punishment. And there's hippies around it going, can you tie me to the tree? Tie me. It's like, fuck off, hippies. Yeah. No, this is a punishment.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is a thing.
We could start a business.
We absolutely could. We absolutely could. We might need some volunteer teenagers. And put some really annoying hippie music on for them as well that they've got to listen to. Yeah. No phone, feet on the grass. Just look at the sky. I mean, that sounds like a great day. Tie me up.
You've got that as a snippet, mate. It sounds like a great day. Tie me up. No, but like now, just going back into, I guess the 2024 and what's happened for you this year, because it sounds like it's kind of been a transformational year, really, from dropping away like what you was doing previously. Yeah. So previously, was it had gone from coaching to sort of like this spiritual coaching? And when did that crossover?
I wouldn't say that it has ever been a sudden change.
So it's just seeping little elements in.
Yeah, because my business was me. It is me. Yeah. And actually now I can see that all of that was really just to help me grow as well. So whenever I've had a big shift, I've slowly integrated it. But this would be the biggest, right? Where you start talking about Jesus, God, and channeling and putting some channeling out. That is, by a lot of people's standards, pretty weird.
Yeah, man.
But it's starting to, it speaks to the person who's ready to hear it. Do you know what it was? I got to a point where I was saying to the universe, I can't speak on these topics anymore around your career. And it was still the same thing of feeling lost and feeling like there's more out there for you. But I said, I am so deep and I get so into the source of what's going on. My work is so profound. I'm going to have to speak at that level. But I knew that it wouldn't speak to the majority of the following I'd built over a long time. Then you just get to a point where you're like, I can't, but I have to. I have to.
She's gone Bible bashing.
Yeah. Well, I heard through the grapevine, right? My friend said to me, so I went out for a drink with so-and-so and they asked me if you've joined a cult. And so I put a post out on my Instagram saying, have I joined a cult? and like listed all the reasons why I haven't and I'm all right. But yeah, that's what people think, right?
Well, but it is a cult, really, because it's just a culture, a cultural way of being. Because on Dragon's Den, Stephen Bartlett said to me, I was like, I want to make loads of money, but I said the ultimate goal is to like create vegan, off-grid, sustainable communities, yogic sustainable communities that like support people and create these beautiful kind of like utopian mini societies. And he was like, a bit like a cult. He went like a cult. I went, yeah, but better than the one you're in. Because they don't realise they're in a cult. They're in this fucked up cult. Do you know what I mean? This like consumeristic sort of like make you feel part of this country and then you feel part of this town or whatever it is. But where's the heart in it? You know what I mean? There's nothing's coming from the heart. Oh, we're going to do this based on heart-centered values or Christ-conscious values. It's like, no, we're going to do this on these
money, success,
control, massively controlling. So it's like, I'm always like, you joined a cult? Yeah, better than the one you're in. So I'm not in a cult. Do you pay tax? You're in a fucking cult, mate.
Yeah.
Did you just go, right, I'm just owning this shit, Jesus? How did it feel the first time you said it online? Or in a session?
Good.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I wasn't dishonouring him anymore. Yeah. Because he's my friend. He's my dear. I could cry thinking about what he does for me, what he gives me, the guidance, the blessing to be awake to that level, the blessing to feel that in your life, the blessing that I can hear his voice so clearly, because there's a lot of people follow but don't have that. And the people now the people that are coming to me, they're ready for it. They want it. So yeah, but there's been a lot of cringe and a lot of fear.
It's just like when you say God, people are like, oh,
Yeah.
And money.
And I get
when you
that.
say money,
Yeah.
people are like, don't talk about God, don't talk about money. Oh, fuck. You know, he's going to make me sign up to something.
And then they also, then our eyes are always a bit crazy as well, right? We have those eyes that are like, it's in us, it's and just the presence that you hold when you've done all that work on yourself, and you're so comfortable in yourself with who you are, what you're doing, where you're going. That can also just be really triggering for people. And you throw God in.
Stopping drinking alcohol's triggering for people.
Oh
do you know what I
my
mean?
God,
like when I first
yeah.
stopped that and I'd go in a pub, well, okay, people are arguing with me. I'm like, I've not said anything. Why? But you're not drinking. I'm like, yeah, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
So I started saying I was an alcoholic and I was recovering. Then people did leave me alone. I wasn't, but they just left me alone. So it's always finding little ways of.
So
and now
interesting, isn't
I
it?
couldn't think of anything worse than being in a pub now on a Friday night.
We were just talking about that the other day, of normal life, especially, you know, we're in
Energy,
London,
though,
and
it's like energy, man, energy.
just that's what you do on a Friday. You go to the pub, you drink a lot, you're hungover, and I know that life. I lived that life. I wasn't. I thought I was having a good time, but I wasn't.
And when was the breakthrough from stopping that then? What was the like catalyst for stopping like that? Kind of like what we've all grown up. That's British culture.
Yeah.
It's like you go work, you know, you finish school, go college, uni, whatever, you get a job, you go work, Friday night. As soon as you leave school, it's Friday, Saturday night, you're out. You know what I mean? You're getting pissed.
Yeah.
Your aim's to get pissed.
Mine started Friday, ended Sunday morning. It was full on.
In London, you're on it.
On it. You're just on it. Yeah, the whole weekend. That was the first awakening when I was 26, 27. It was just before I started to coach.
Yeah.
And I was sick of losing all of my weekend. I hadn't seen a Sunday properly for so long. And I knew that if I wanted to actually have a coaching business, I couldn't keep hurting myself that way. But we were all doing it.
So you started your coaching business.
I was training to be a coach, and it was that if I was going to put the effort in to actually turn it into something, it was around 27, 28, I couldn't be hungover all the time because I was recovering by Wednesday, then starting again. It was one of the hardest things because it wasn't just alcohol, it was cocaine, it was everything, right?
It's the friendship groups as well.
The friendship groups, my best friends, people I was living with. And I remember clearly being at a party, and it was that tipping point. I'd had one drink and I could either stay, drink more, and now I know where it would go, or I could leave. And I was gripping onto the sink and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and it was these two versions of me. It was the sliding doors. You either leave now, and it's like, or your life's going to stay like this. And I thank God I made the decision in that moment. Didn't tell anyone. I just walked out. And it was like one of the drama moments, right? It's raining. It was dark.
You'll get it on your review, you'll film it, and you're like, go, keep walking.
I don't know, what song would they be playing? Something like really dramatic, cinematic.
Oh, I think that Kanye West, Jesus.
Yes.
Jesus calling me. Dum 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 dum. Like, go on, throw your high heels off, throw them away. High heels go. Take a guy out on a bus like he's got a high heel in his eye, but people are going, Sorry.
Rain's coming down, my mascara's running, but I'm still going.
She's got a little baggie of cacao cake. Just throw that away.
Lands in some young kids' hands. They're like, yes, good
Nick,
night.
we're going to do this as a video, yeah? You got to remember all that. We're going to record it. We're going to make a little short video of that. Just
Definitely.
like, get all the actors in. Who's going to play you in that moment?
I always feel like Cameron Diaz, but then I feel a bit old with that now.
She's a bit old now.
I know.
But I don't know who that.
I don't know
Who's the
anyone.
modern day Cameron
I
Diaz?
have no idea.
Who's the modern day Cameron Diaz, Nick?
Do you know who Cameron Diaz is?
Oh, just you don't know. Like some of the ones I come out with, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Who? Jenna Ortega. There you go. Jenna Ortega's playing you. Is she blonde?
No. She hot.
Oh fuck, we can dye her hair. Jenna, you're getting. She's hot. Yeah, she'll be hot.
Great, I'll take it. As long as she's hot, I don't mind.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that was
happened.
the moment. So then that was like bump.
Yeah.
And that there was no going back.
No going back. But my friends hated me. Yeah, they really didn't like it at all. Yeah. And I lost everybody. I walked away from a life and I lost everybody to start with.
Still gone? Any more come
No, they all came back.
They all came back?
They all came back. Yeah. Yeah, and I think anyone who's listening and you're going through that, have that faith in yourself that you are role modeling, and it's only a mirror into them, the pain that they can't yet look at. But once they see you in your absolute joy, it will just pull them back to you. Yeah.
If you shining your light gives other people permission to shine their light, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, shine your fucking light, man.
Just shine.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable for the people at first because they need to wear sunglasses when they're around you. However, keep shining it and they'll eventually turn up for themselves.
Definitely.
And if they don't, it's not your fault, not your problem.
Exactly. New friends will come, better ones, amazing ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dream friends.
Yeah. And how's that all panned out then? What people have shown up in the environment that you're just like, oh my God, like...
Twice I had to do that, right? Leave all my friends, because then I moved to Ibiza, and my ex is a DJ. So that life was still very much my life. And then there was another level of awakening, and I left all my friends again. And I just really thought maybe I'm just going to be a loner for the rest of my life, Yeah. Because I'd rather be that than be someone who's... I just couldn't. I couldn't go and sit with people that didn't understand what I knew.
Yeah.
And I prayed and prayed and prayed, and I just wanted people that were inspiring and we were lifting each other up. And now especially the women in my life, I have 8 incredible best friends, and we're just constantly lifting each other up. But look, we're speaking today. Like these connections, it's just inevitable, isn't it? In the end.
Yeah, totally. Because I think what I always found I was always like, I had friendship groups and I had lots of friends, and I was the one who got on, when groups didn't get on with each other, and I kind of got on with different ones and kind of always in the middle. But I always observed friendship groups, and I was like, really tight friendship groups, big ones, males, females, couples, and whatever, all in the mix of it. I could see them all shepherding each other. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, we need to earn this amount of money. We need to live in this area now, and this is what we should. And I always observed. I was like, oh, fuck that. I don't want. I never wanted to be like shepherded. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to like, what do I want to do right now?
Right.
What's my? You should be doing this by this age. I'm like, why the fuck should I be doing that? Do whatever I want when I want to do it. But I guess I've always had that rebel spirit. But my dad doesn't conform to, the way things are and stuff. Not that in a spiritual sense, just like he's like, when he was younger, like cash in hand, fucking no social kind of like awareness, just did his own thing.
So you feel you got it from your dad?
That sort of rebel mentality, yeah. It's like, because you meet a lot of like, especially in the middle classes, it's like, we've got to do this and you have to do it this way and it's like, but more in working class, it's more like, fuck that, like, do you know what I mean?
You got to live, you got to survive, so you just got to do it how you got to do it. And my
dad grew up in Ireland in the 40s, so it's like when you go to India and you see the poverty kids in the slums, that's how Dublin was in the 40s. Most kids were like that. So he would go around collecting little bits of metal and have his bag and like doing robberies at 8, like, and shit. And you're like, legend. Fuck, man, like, what?
You can't even imagine.
No. Well, it's still happening in parts of the world,
Of course, yeah.
So that's again, like when people say, oh, that used to be like that. I'm like, yeah, but it's like that somewhere still.
Yeah.
So it's still like that.
Yeah.
It's just a different story and a different play existing in a different part of the world. Do you know what I mean? It's like when people go, oh, women didn't have this right. I'm like, well, these countries in the world where the women still don't have that right. Do you know what I mean? Or if you are interested in holding your own cacao ceremonies for your community, then come and train with us at Full Power Cacao Facilitator Training. We've got 2 dates coming up in 2025. Just head over to the website, check out the details, and book on if it is calling you. Now, back to the podcast.
I think it's when you think about it being your parents, the difference that we experienced, just like little things. Their toilet was still outside, or just because my mum
6 of them in one small bedroom.
Yeah,
like, fuck.
Yeah, my mum grew up in a really poor family as well, and we have a lot to be grateful for as well for what They worked hard, right?
Yeah, and didn't have central heating or double glazing.
Oh, God,
Yeah. And they didn't have automatic like blinds, man. Can you believe that? I don't even have them. But
did they survive?
Blinds, Siri, open the blinds. How did you get on?
They had to use their fingers.
I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, actually, and he was saying, he said, we're the last generation that have not always known Wi-Fi. Because we know Wi-Fi, but we've not always known Wi-Fi.
Right.
Whereas, what is it, since 98 or 96? Like, anyone born since then's always, you've always existed in Wi-Fi. Like my stepdaughter, my missus's daughter, we had a power cut in the storm in Wales, and she's like freaking out. She's 16, but she's like screaming like, ah! I was like, what the fuck is wrong with her? And she's like, well, there's no Wi-Fi. And we're like, just fucking go for a walk. She's like, yeah, but I'll still know there's no Wi-Fi. And we're like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I've never not had. And we're like, oh yeah, you've never not had Wi-Fi. It's always.
So it's almost like electricity, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's like, if she's got a question in her head, it's instant. Whereas we'd have a question in your head and you're like,
go to the library.
Oh yeah, or I'm going to go and ask someone in the pub. Like, or ask a few, someone know, you know, when you used to always get that thing in your head, oh, what's that thing? Forgot it. And you go, oh, fuck, I'm going to have to ask Thingy when I go.
Yeah.
But now you can just Google it.
Yeah.
So that doesn't exist anymore.
No.
So it's quite interesting to just have that awareness that we're the last generation.
I'm glad that we experienced life
100%.
without it.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved ringing people and meeting them at a place.
Beat you at the phone box.
Yeah. And like, if you was 10 minutes late, they just waited. Whereas now you get like 10 phone calls, a text, like picture of them. So I'm waiting. Like, you're like, fuck off, man. I'm coming. You know.
Yeah. There's no hiding anymore.
No. It's good. It's got its positives and it's got its negatives. But it's just the way things evolve. And every generation says it about every generation.
I know.
But
We're sort of sounding old now, aren't we?
Yeah. But I think this is the biggest leap. You know what I mean? So yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
Hit me.
2024.
What's happened?
So I started to bring channeling into my work.
Mm-hmm. And you channel like a specific being? At
first I was, and then, but what I was finding was I could channel everything. And it was very interesting. I could channel a tree. A tree would speak through me, to me, but through my mouth. The heart would, I could channel the heart. I could channel people that were alive, but it was their consciousness I was speaking to. I guess it would be their higher self, the self that's always existing, So they'd explain things to me, and then beings on different planets. And I asked about it, and I said, "Well, what's going on here? Because I thought you got a being. I thought that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
Everyone I've seen, they have a collective, and that's who they speak to, right? Yeah. And I was just told, you are everything, so you can connect to everything, and that it was a specific gift that I had been given." And that, at the time when they told me that, I didn't feel like I can't say that to people. I can't share that. People won't get that. Yeah. But in my experience, that's what my experience has been. It's really just through my intention, of what question am I asking, what intention am I setting, and then the highest knowing of that comes through. But mostly what I channel, they call themselves the ones by my side, and they said it's hard to even put into words the number of beings that are a part of it, but they're there to support me, and I guess Jesus is a part of that.
Yeah, so it's like a collective.
Yeah, it's a collective, and I have come to know them, and I trust them, and that's what I call upon. But sometimes the person I'm working with, it'll be their guides, and
so it's kind of like sort of like Abraham Hicks / Bashir, but without a specific being that you're working with.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because that always baffles me, like, because obviously everything's everything and we can connect with everything. But is it not overwhelming? Can you like turn into a certain frequency or a certain channel, or is it everything sometimes trying to bombard you at the same time?
No, because again, it's about the intention. So if I'm asking a specific question, it's like that's the telephone number. They explain to me how powerful a question is. We don't actually understand as humans how powerful a question is. When you ask a question, in this sense, it's like sending out a boomerang that connects to the best answer and brings it back. But of course, also depending on the state of being that you're in, because I also experienced energy that didn't feel light and didn't feel in its best nature. Actually, I have a story to tell you. So do you remember I came to a ceremony? It was
mine?
Yes, that's how I.
No.
Right, it was the one. Jeff was there.
Oh yes, I do remember
and
you.
And it was me and my mate.
Yeah, I do remember you. Yes.
Yeah, we're having a very good time.
When you came up the stairs before, I was like, I've met you before, but I was like, maybe I don't know.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So there. Actually, I think I met you briefly before that because I was speaking at the yoga. What's it called?
Yoga show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when my friend first met me. She came over and she was like, I've met this guy. He used to be a drug dealer and now he works with CACAO. And she loved you. Anyway, that's how we ended up coming to your ceremony.
Yeah.
I flew over from Ibiza because she'd booked it for us.
Right.
But it was February 2023. And the night before, I had one of my first experiences, but I didn't know how to handle it. And an energy had come in that I was like, this doesn't feel right or good. And I was commanding it to leave, but like it just wasn't like fully leaving. And I think because I let some fear in. So then me and my mate are down the back of the garden, not knowing really what to do. She's singing Kumbaya, trying to like smoke it out with some sage. I'm like, it'll be fine. So I go to sleep, get up early to get on the plane to come to yours. And when I get to my mate, we're in the car driving. She's like, you're not yourself. I said, yeah, I know. I'm feeling a bit weird about going inwards and I'm never anxious. I said, I don't think this energy's left me. And she said, well, I'll teach you what to do. You just got to close your eyes, ask for a frequency of 800 or over to come in and help you. So I did that, not really knowing exactly what I was doing. And then I saw this red energy stir up inside of me. And then it came up and out of my throat. And I just went, bah! And it just all came out. We looked at each other, wound down the window. A few tears came out. And then that was done. And I came to see you. So.
Was you making sounds at the ceremony?
Yeah, it was weird. I was being full on.
Yeah. I think it's coming back to me now. Amazing.
I hadn't seen Jeff, right, for maybe... The last time I saw Jeff, I was 19 because we used to work together.
Seriously?
We used to work. Yeah.
Oh, I love Jeff.
Yeah, and then the first time he saw me, he was like, "You wild."
He's coming on the show actually.
Oh,
the next
great.
He's away at the moment, but he's coming on the next when we do it in Manchester. He's going to come up.
Oh, good.
But yeah, he's got a beautiful heart.
Beautiful man.
Gorgeous. And beautiful kids as well.
Yeah.
Love his kids.
Yeah.
They've come to like quite a few of our things. They come to the Stone Cold Sober Festival and that. But how did you find the cacao ceremony then?
Oh, we had a great time. Yeah, I just loved you. I loved how you led it. I loved your authenticity. I loved the fun element. And as I said at the beginning, I don't really need much to go in and be open, but I did use your cacao again for my event in October, so thank you for that. And it was really powerful for people. Yeah, they were tears, just open hearts, really open hearts.
Because for me, it's like it's a facilitator, it's a heart expander. Like, but people say, "Oh, I'm on this and I can't come to your ceremony." I'm like, you can come to the ceremony. You don't have to drink any cacao.
Yeah,
you will have a good experience.
You'll get it anyway.
It's just you'll still get into the energy of the cacao, the energy of the Christ consciousness, this energy of like ascension, like. The cacao is just like a pathway. It's like you were saying about yoga before. You got into yoga because you wanted a nice ass.
Yeah,
brilliant. But it gets you in. It's like when people used to slag Bikram off, and they'd slag this kind of yoga off. It's like as long as it's getting them in, man. Like goat yoga. If you're into goat yoga, it's the thing that gets you into yoga. Fucking brilliant. This. Like get into goat yoga, but just then go deep. Then explore the rest of it. Yeah. So 2024, and then doing all of these practices, deep work with this Sri Kalashwar lineage. It's just constant mantras, constant purification. First of all, it was the 5 elements, purifying all of that in your soul so that you can command on that. And it's just, and now I have direct contact with my masters, and sometimes, I'm having medicine experiences without medicine, and they'll be there and they're talking to me and they'll be still pulling, still cleaning, and giving me little pieces of the puzzle
I just on New Year's Day had some information, and I feel like, okay, 2 years of this, and now I what I've always known, but a piece of the puzzle that just said, okay, I'm all in. Let's go. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Is this the life purpose or the mission, or is it a part of it?
It's the mission now. So the work is the work that I'm doing now is still just transition. The mission is far greater than me. I'm just a piece. I've handed my life completely over. It's destiny now. I'm destiny. They'll use me. And everything up to this point now has just been to prepare me for what's coming.
So all is a blessing.
Yeah.
Every single little piece of it.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you share with us what the life purpose is? Is there a specific element, or maybe the life purpose, and also where you feel you're gonna go with your business, your personal life? What's occurring?
Yeah. What do I want to share? It just comes to me to do God's will, but that will be to share truth. I don't know. I do know how it's going to look, but I also, it's like a prophecy that's been given to me. So I'm just I keep that and see and watch and see. But it would be bringing more people into this, into the Christ consciousness, into the knowing of Christ. Most likely with the healing modality.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to move more and more and more into the resurrection of the Jesus within us, if that's the path that you're meant to be doing now. Because I'm so...
Yeah.
Go on.
No, but that's what Paramahansa says. Like Paramahansa says that he was the last guru of the Christ of the SRF lineage, starting from Jesus. And I'm guessing a lot of the gurus started saying that. And it's like you were saying about your guru, the guru.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Sri Kaleshwar.
Kaleshwar.
Yeah.
That he's saying, so the second coming of Christ is everyone. Is everyone to awaken.
Yeah.
That's the second coming of Christ. It's like to everybody to self-realize, everyone realize they're a part of the oneness of the Christ conscious energy. And that's going to be fucking beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah. It's going to be, I think it's going to be messy before it's beautiful.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
it's going to be a riot. So what I have been told is a part of this will be creating a riot within people. And people they keep saying to me over and over again, Lydia, this is going to be really hard. People aren't going to like you. You're going to get a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like ready for the hate. But it is what it is, right? Yeah. And maybe we won't really see that full fruition in our lifetime. I don't know. I think
we'll see the riot. It's kind of making me think the Kaiser Chiefs were right when they predicted one.
Oh, right. What was that?
They predicted a riot, didn't they?
Yeah, sing it for us, babe.
That's a dad joke.
Go on.
I'm not even dad. I predict a riot. I remember my dad singing that.
Track.
I remember dad singing that in a pub with this guy. He was like, let's sing this together with this guy. Yeah. Wherever I took my dad, he'd find like, wherever I lived in the world or wherever I took him, he'd find the shittest, horriblest pub that I'd never even heard of that was maybe around the coast.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going here, he's got karaoke on tonight. So he's singing I Predict a Riot. I'm watching it, I've got this little middle-class girlfriend, and then as he's singing it with this lad who's never met him before, this woman comes in and just glasses this bloke. And I'm like,
oh God.
That is like... that you couldn't have scripted that any better, do you know what I mean? But it was real, and this guy's got blood all over, and his chair's flying about, and then the karaoke has to stop.
Oh no!
My dad's like sits down, and he went. Then the karaoke guy calls him back out when it's all died down, and he starts singing "I Predict a Riot" again. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But anyway, no, that's why I say to people, they went, well, if this is happening, then why is the world like? I went, the world has got to purify. You've got to get rid of the old. And the way that people will always hold on to the old until it's like they've got to let go of it. So things for systems, for indoctrinations, for dogmatic ways of being to evaporate, there's got to be this, like you say, this riot, this kind of like, fuck, this is getting really bad. Yeah, good. It's like when people say there's a mental health crisis, I went, fucking brilliant, because if you live in this world and you're not having a mental health crisis, you're not aware. So people are becoming more aware, and it's like, right, fuck, this is heavy. It's like, then your mental health crisis is the start of your breakthrough to your, well, it's not, what did he say? It's not a mental health crisis. It's a breakthrough. Or it's not a mental breakdown, it's a mental breakthrough. So it's like you've got to go to those places that are really like, you feel like, I'm going to fucking die in a minute.
And then learn you're okay.
And then...
Well, yeah. And if you haven't been through, so the world is doing that and we're doing it individually. So if you haven't been through that purification process yourself, where all your darkness, all the icky, when you haven't gone right into it and gone, I still love you. That's okay. Bring it all up. Show me all of it. Show me all of it. If you're still trying to hide a piece of that in yourself, then you won't understand what you're seeing on earth. Like, I see what's happening because I've seen it in myself. And it's okay, because all forms, all aspects, the full spectrum of humanity has to come up and come out for it to be healed.
100%,
Yeah.
The whole thing,
The whole thing.
Everything.
Yeah, hold on for the ride.
I'm excited. I love it. I enjoy. Like, someone's like, "Oh, this has happened." I'm like, "Brilliant!" Like, it's like, and it's just changing our own way of like Vipassana and obviously yoga meditation. It's like being non-reactive. Just observe the situation, and like we said at the start, it's like it's just a video. It's just a scene. It's just a story. Just whether that's like super beautiful or super messy or super destructive, just observe it. Like, and remember the serenity prayer. God grant me serenity to accept things that cannot change, courage to change the things that can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Is just like, well, I actually don't know what that side's doing and that side's doing. I'm just gonna not even get involved. Do you know what I mean? And that's another thing, when you don't want to get involved, people are like, why are you not getting involved? And you're like, well, because I don't know anything about it. Like, what do you need me? Yeah, but study that or listen to this. And I'm like, yeah, but I still don't know anything about it. I'm taking somebody's opinion or side. Like, can I just not know?
Just send love.
Yeah, send love to both sides, like, and to realize that from both sides there's love.
There's something going on there.
Yeah. It's a vibrational match as well. So whatever someone's got going on, it's a vibrational match.
Karma.
Yeah. So how do you then bring all that into your healing? So how would someone book a session with you? Is it a one-to-one session? Are you doing group sessions, or is it like bigger events? How does that work?
All of the above.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to step into my world, then there's so much free stuff already just on my website. I've been doing this for a long time. There'll be something to meet you for wherever you are in this moment.
What's the website?
thehappinessexplorer.com.
Nice.
If you want to invest in yourself, then you can book a one-to-one session with me, 90 minutes, and we'll go deep, and you'll get a lot of transformation in that time, the clarity, the courage, the confidence. Then my most popular way to work with people is for 12 weeks, because really for lifelong transformation, you need an extended period of time. And so over that time, you're going to really go in deep and do a lot of the healing work.
So is that like a 12-week commitment to like a session
10
a week?
sessions,
10
sessions, and then some programs, 2 of my signature programs alongside it,
right,
which really take you from the first kind of crack of light that's in you to fully awakened in yourself to where you're meant to be awakened to in that point. Then you go off and integrate. Then I have a yearly event where I do live healings, channeling, and the next one is on the 5th of April in Richmond, so in London. So that I'll have the details out for that soon. And I'm also going to do a group workshop soon, probably in February, just around surrender, and I'm going to do a group healing in that as well. So watch this space.
Awesome. Well, I think obviously, like with a lot of our viewers, listeners, they're on our saying like spiritual crackheads, I like to call them. So it's like, hopefully a lot of people will connect with you and resonate with what you've been talking about on the show, on the podcast today. That's the one thing, like if someone's to book like a one-to-one session, is it just like, are you bringing through healing energy? Are you like specifically channeling, or do you just like, it can be, obviously every session is different, but do you have a framework that you work around, or do you just let it flow?
No, it's a framework. So it starts with quantum meditation to really drop that person into their heart. Then I read their heart energy. So that's where I'm reading the heart consciousness. Then I use the masterful coaching to unpack the mind, to understand themselves better and to get the clarity. Then I channel. So we get the highest energetic perspective, and I finish with the healing, which is the Divine Mother.
Beautiful.
So it's like a lot. In one session, you're getting quite often what it takes a year in therapy or counselling.
Yeah. That's what
Boom.
I say about like people going for like traditional therapy and counselling. I'm like,
no, it'll scratch the surface, and it's right for some people. But a lot of time, people come to me and they say, "I've been in therapy for 2 years, and what we've just done in one session, you've moved me forward more than what that has." Kind of sometimes it keeps people stuck in a little bit of the pattern of it, but. Yeah, everything has its place,
and it's it's everything that we've had going on. It's to show it love, and just not let it have a negative impact on us anymore. To clear it, to release the trauma, which is amazing. There's more and more people doing what you're doing. There's so many, like obviously, like on the podcast, and that we have a lot of people come in and they're doing different things, but the same thing.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. It's like empowering people, stepping people up on this ascension path, this path to this Christ conscious awakening within each human being. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah. So the old coaching don't exist anymore.
Yeah, that skill set is what makes a lot of what I do so powerful, because I've spent thousands of hours helping people. That the speed to which I can crack somebody with coaching helps us get even deeper healing with the other modalities. So that still exists, but if when you come to when we're working together over 12 weeks, you're just going to get everything. Somebody can only take you as far as they've been themselves, and I've been really far. So it's so many different skill sets can come out. It's what's going to be best in that moment.
And what's the most profound awakening that somebody's had from one of your sessions?
Oh my goodness!
Or like where they've propelled like. Super rapid.
I'm working with a lady right now, and she has been in pain for 2 years, and the doctors haven't been able to tell her what it is. She can't really move very well, and I ended up meeting her because I also do in-person sessions at Six Senses Hotel in Ibiza, and she was there from New Zealand, and we met, and in one session we identified very quickly that it was all of the root of the physical pain was related to the unworthiness, really, and where she had been in the state of pleasing her whole life and serving others her whole life. And she continued to work with me, and within the 12 weeks, and she became pain-free. Wow. So that's a recent one. I mean, there's been many cases, but to know that somebody can now live their life free of physical pain, that was a huge piece of evidence for me.
Yeah.
Like, beautiful,
humbling. I'm proud.
Yeah, and thankful.
Yeah,
that I could be the facilitator. It's not me doing that, but
the vessel to bring that through. Yeah. And is there anything before we end this beautiful, amazing episode? It's been amazing to talk on stuff on that sort of that higher level. I just love people that are listening to the show that have not. It's just every time I feel like it's implanting people with even if they don't understand it, they've heard the word for the first time, and the next time they hear it, they'd be like, I've heard that before, and then the third time they're like, I'm gonna try and understand what that means. Do you know what I mean? I ain't got a fucking clue. But what's channeling? What's light language? All these things that we're kind of pulling through. What's Jesus? What's Christ conscious energy? What's 2032? What's 2012? What's the cosmic moment? All these things, and I'm like, yeah, man. The more we chat about it, the more it's kind of really coming into because it's going to be mainstream. I tell everybody, I'm like, some of us are going to be doing stadiums in the next 10 years,
100%.
Events at stadiums. They're like, what? I'm like, it's happening, man. It's fucking happening. I know a few people. I'm like, you're going to be doing a stadium, 100%. And
it's coming.
That whole thing, and just people bring it. Imagine 90,000 people in a stadium bringing that really high vibration, heart-centered love, all there for the same thing, and bringing in all that energy from above, an amphitheater.
New kind of church, doing it differently. Where people actually feel it, feel the presence.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've got a little tingle as well. Because we've been doing the CACAO ceremonies now, like 250 people.
Amazing.
It's like, fuck. Like, I'm just like, I want more people. Not like, I want more people because the energy builds.
Yeah.
And I'm not feed off it in a negative way, but the more people there, the more I want to give.
Yeah.
So the more fucked I am after it, because I'm like, give, but I'm just like, it's amazing, you know, from like when we what was the 15 people at that one, 20 people, and it's like now to be doing things like that and to know that it's expanding and know that other people's stuff's expanding and we're all helping, supporting, empowering each other. And then these people that are coming to your events, they might end up doing something that's massive, and that could be the pivotal moment for them to go, fuck, like, I've got to have the confidence to do what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, why have I been playing small?
Yeah.
It's like, man, this is the time to be big and to really kind of like shine our light brightly.
Definitely.
So, yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you got to tell us about?
No, just thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're just great. You're so much fun. I love you. You're wonderful.
Love you too. Thank you.
And just love to everybody who's listening.
Yeah.
You're loved. You're so loved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be brave. Do your thing.
Yeah. So what, Instagram, how do you follow you?
Yeah. Lydia Kimmerling.
Kimmerling. It sounds nice
my
to say it on
my
your tongue.
Californian name.
It's like someone's played a xylophone at that ling bit. Kimmerling. Ding.
There's only one of me in the whole world, right? Lydia Kimmerling. Somebody took my name, website, however many years ago, 6 years ago, and pointed it to a sex shop.
Right.
So I can't use, and I've been waiting, and I'm like, do I really need to use it? Because my website is the Happiness Explorer, which was the name of my business, and then I was going to buy my name. And I don't know why they did that or how they did that. It's not a disgruntled ex. It's somebody in some, like maybe, I think it's like Romania or somewhere like that. And pointed my name to a sex shop.
Oh, nice.
So don't try searching. Well, you probably will now.
So search for what? The Happiness?
Search for the Happiness Explorer.
I probably will now.
Peaches and Scream.
So Lydia
Kimmerling is on Instagram. Yeah,
website.
The Happiness Explorer.
And any other ways to find you?
YouTube, I'm putting out, I have a podcast on there. You guys can go check it out. It's more just my story, so there's no interviews, but called Closer to Source. And those are the main places, mostly on Instagram.
Yeah. Or if you're in Ibiza, just like
let me know. Yeah.
Is that her?
Yeah.
Is that her?
It won't be hard to find me. It's a pretty small place.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, stay amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep shining that light. Keep talking about God. Keep talking about Jesus all the time. Keep talking about the Christ conscious energy. Keep bringing it through, because it's just getting stronger and stronger every day. And have a beautiful year, like abundance, full power, magnificence.
Full power.
Shine that light brightly. We love you.
Thanks, darling.
Thank you.
Helping people understand emotion and where it comes from and why they feel the way they feel when they're going to have a panic attack, or if they get anxiety.
Packet of crisps, packet of salt and vinegar squares. Is that a fucking mermaid eating salt and vinegar squares? It is, love.
Every day I was doing yoga, did my meditation 3 times a day. I wrote my books. I studied and studied and studied quantum physics, metaphysics, neuroscience, all sorts of things. For a relationship the year before lockdown.
Yep.
And it was a roller coaster, to say the least. And I was in a bad place. I was making bad decisions. I was around drugs and alcohol all the time. You accept it, you remember it, and then you let it go. And then you do things such as meditation to bring your body back out of fight or flight mode, which is obviously if you're thinking about something bad or traumatic from the past, you instantly get like the